Hello everybody, it's Toby Wilson again, and I'm back with another topic. Today let's just talk. Let's really deliberate. I know it's an interactive session, but you can drop your comments in the comment section and let me know some things bothering your mind regarding settling in the UK if you're an immigrant. And I want to talk about some facts and reality of living in the UK. Okay, I think I can talk about it because I've been in the UK for 10 years now, and I've been in the UK since 2013, and I've gone through some life experiences in this UK, so I think I can see some things regarding life in the UK, some facts, some hints, and some tips to help you if you are ready to take the step. You understand? And my first point is if you are in the UK or you intend relocating to the UK for the first time, not as a visitor, because as a visitor you are not coming to stay, you're only on a visit visa. But if you're on another route that are permitted to stay for more than a year, and you know that you're going to be spending longer time in the UK, I think this video is for you. Okay, and my first fact is that if you are relocating to the UK for the first time with your family or even as a single person, I will not advise you live in London, except if you have family members that will still accommodate you or make you comfortable in the meantime before you get your feet. But if you have your way, I think you can start life outside London. This is because London is a very expensive city. It's the capital of England anyway, so you don't expect it to be cheap, and it is difficult coping at first when you are in London for the first time, because you have the issue of accommodation to battle with. Even if you have your money, landlords are not ready to give you a house just on a platter of gold. There are a lot of terms and conditions that you might not even qualify for or even meet up with the requirement as a new settler in the country. So I will not advise. Then it's expensive. A one room apartment can even get to a 2-bedroom apartment in another state. So you need to do your feasibility studies and check what is suitable for you and decide, because most people live in in London not because they wanted it from the beginning, but maybe they came as a student and because they didn't know that was where they got a uni to study, or maybe that is where they have family members and directly or indirectly they have to put up with that person in the meantime, and before you know it, they're already settled, they don't have a job, they don't have partner, they have children that are attending school. Then relocating is now difficult because of the commitment, because of the ties in London. But if not all this, I think it's better you start your life in another state. It is easier for you to get settled, navigate lives, and settle. That is that. And the cost of living is so expensive in London. It is expensive getting a lot of things. Even getting an instructor for your driving is expensive, and all those stuff like that. So starting your life in London is challenging, and I will not advise that. I live in London because I came to join my husband, and he was in London from the beginning, and that is where I found myself in, and we grew, developed ties, have family ties, and here we are today. So that's it. But I'm just saying that for those coming newly, I would not advise you settling in London, except if from the beginning you have a good job, you've got family ties there that are going to help you around. But if you're starting by yourself, I think you should pitch your tent in another state. Okay. Another thing I want to say about London is if you want to get your first house, as in buying your own house, your first house in the UK, I will not advise you get it in London. It is expensive. The mortgage, the repayments, or the discount, the what's it called? The payment, the part payment that you need to drop is going to be expensive, and it is so difficult getting a suitable, a kind of a house that you really want, because London is congested already. You can hardly get a spacious accommodation, a spacious house to buy, and if you get any, it's going to be outrageous in kind of cost. So getting your first house in London is not really advisable. But if you have a good job, then why not, if you can? But be prepared for all the costs, all the miscellaneous expenses, all the challenges attached to that if you are settling in London. But the good news I have about London is that it's not a bad place. It's a good place. It's for the average people. Yes, low income earners, struggling class also living in London, but most of them prefer to live elsewhere if they have their means, and that's the gospel truth. But the good news I have is that if you're on a struggle visa, is any visa called struggle visa? You should know what I mean. If you are on a struggle visa, I think living in London is helpful, because you will still see something to do to put food on your table. That is it about London, if you're on a struggle visa. Okay. And another thing I want to talk about is that if you are really struggling, or you are on a struggle visa, and you are really struggling, you are working, and whatever you are getting is not enough to fend for the family, after paying expenses, you do not have anything left, or it's difficult putting money together to renew your papers, I think there is help for you if you only speak out. If you don't speak out, you don't get it. I remember many years ago when I took my child to a specialist for some medical reasons, and the lady used a word for me, is a statement. She said, in this country, if you don't say it, you don't get it. I like, okay, because I didn't really think deep to know what that means. But as time goes on, I'm like, I remember that word, that in this country, if you don't say it, you don't get it. And what that means is that you don't need to struggle. If you are struggling, meeting up with expenses, try, and you're working, or you're not working because you're on a struggle visa, and the life is so difficult, no one to help. Obviously, it's difficult to get someone to help you, because everybody's hands are full already. So getting someone to help you is going to take, they've not even finished with theirs. So taking yours is going to be somehow, So if you're on struggle visa, if you're on a low income earnings, and there's nothing you can do, I think you need to speak up. How can you speak up? You need to approach your children's schools for help, for advice. You need to approach the charity offices or charity organizations in your borough. It might not even be only in your borough. It might be in your state, wherever you live. You might also approach your council, approach the council of where you live, to say, oh, this is me, this is what I'm going through, I'm this and that. And they're going to assess you, assess a condition, your standard of living, and if truly they see that you really needed this help, they're going to help you. So if you don't say it, you don't get it. I recently featured in an interview with a YouTuber some months ago, and in the course of that interview, I got a lot of comments, both negative and positive, constructive and whatever. Okay, that is the one. Someone contacted me and said, oh, Toby, this is my situation, blah blah blah, and I gave him some information. I gave him some advice in which he can make use of to better his life. And guess what? recently he contacted me because he made use of all those information I gave him, and he's been sorted out. He's now fine with his family. I was even surprised because I thought, will you be able to do it? Will you be able to swallow your pride? Will you be able to speak out? Because if you don't speak out, you don't get it. And he did speak out, and I got help from the council of his state where he's living. And the reverse is the case now, and he's a happy person. I'm so happy for him. Okay, so the fact is that if you don't say it, you don't get it. If you need help, you need to speak out, ask people. Don't be shy. If you can't ask people, maybe friends, because you think they're going to make jest of you, walk into your council, walk into charity offices, check online for help, ask me, then I can tell you what you need to do. Then you can be assessed by the local authority of where you live. If they can help you, they're going to direct you to another place. Ask for help from your children's school. They're going to help you. If you don't say it, they don't know what you're going through, and you won't get the help. So you don't need to struggle. In this country, you don't need to struggle. If you are struggling, they want you to speak out. They want you to speak out. They want you to come to them. They want you to express your mind to them what you're going through, because they don't want you to fall into depression. They don't want you to be traumatized. They don't want the children to be affected. That's why they're going to help you. So when you speak out, then you're going to get it. Another hint about this UK is about your credit history. In this country, they value being trustworthy, being honest, and being flexible enough. Like if you borrow some money or you want to get credit card, they want you to tell them if whatever they want you to pay back is convenient for you. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to say, I can afford this, when you know that you can afford this. Or if for whatever reason you think you can afford that thing, but you can't afford it any longer, you need to reach out to your lender and let them know, oh, this is what I've done, but I can't do this anymore, and this. You need to reach out to your lender, let them know you are struggling, let them know your financial circumstances have changed, and that you can't do this and that any longer. Then they're going to work out other flexible options that will be suitable, that will be okay for both parties, so that it will not have any dent on your credit report. Because in this country, once your credit report is, or your credit history or whatever is spoiled, is damaged, it is difficult to get borrowing power when you eventually need it, especially for your mortgage. So you need to be cautious of your spending. You need to know what you want to borrow, what you can afford, what you want to pay back. And if you consider, oh yeah, I won't be able to do this any longer, you need to reach out to them and let them work out all that suitable means in which you can repay your debt, so that everybody will be fine and you still have a good record intact. Another hint or fact or tip I need to talk about living in the UK is your status. If you do not have an indefinite leave to remain, or you do not have your British passport, and just bear in mind that you will not be able to get student loans, student finance, if you want to continue with your education, if you're not done with studying, and you do not have the means to do self-funding. There are some people that are doing a good job, they have good job, and they can fund their schooling, they are studying themselves. They do not need the student loan from the government, because the student loan you need to pay back when you start working. And but if for whatever reason you do not have indefinite leave to remain, you don't have your British passport, and you want to go back to school, and because the government won't fund you, and that might stop your education. And if you work in the health sector or in any sector, you can approach your manager, tell them your intention, you want to go back to school, but these are your challenges. Then they're going to pass you on to the apprenticeship department. If you're working in the health sector, if you're not working in the health sector, just approach your manager, Tell them your intention. You never can tell. There might be a scheme. There might be a program that will enable you to go for your study without paying a dime at the moment or at first, or in which they might be like taking some little amount, or will make the learning flexible for you to still work and school and still get paid. That's like work while you earn, you know. So you can like approach them, like if you work in the health sector, approach your manager, tell them about your intention. They're gonna like direct you to the apprenticeship department, who have a lot of apprenticeship routes in which you can study, and then they're gonna work out something for you, and you're gonna be happy at the end of the day. So if you don't say it, you still don't get it. So you don't need to like wait till like ages, depending on when you want to get, when you are due, or when you are like eligible for your indefinite leave before you go back to school. There are other routes in which you can get qualified, get a career lift, a career boost, a career boost for your profession, and make everybody happy at the end of the day. Okay, so you need to speak out so it can be helped. Also, in this country, saving is another way of being disciplined. It's not only when you stop drinking or smoking or clubbing or whatever that you are being disciplined. Saving is another disciplinary method in which you can use to like guide yourself and be cautious of your life and plan your life and achieve something tangible at the end of the day. In my one of my videos earlier this year, I talked about saving tips and how we can like save in this new year and see what we're going to achieve with extra pennies here and there at the end of the year. If you haven't started, this video is to encourage you to like, come on, you need to do it right now. We've just spent, this is just the second month in the new year. You can still save up. Start with the little penny that you're going to get used to it and that you're going to be saving. And before you know it, it is now part and parcel of you. And that you're going to be happy at the end of the day. So saving is another hint of fact to success in this country. Okay, you need to develop that pattern and see what you can achieve as an extra income at the end of the year. Okay, then side hustle is another means. Only 9-to-5 job is not enough to live a good and comfortable life. In the UK, you've got families here and there, you've got dependents here and there. So if you want to live a comfortable life and still sort them out, you still need to do some other jobs. Side also a less stressful kind of side hustle to support your income. Please think about that. You've got a skill, you know that skill in you, you know that talent you've gotten, you know that thing that you've been procrastinating. And I think this is the right time for you to like make up your mind and go for it. And you're going to be happy at the end of the day. Yes, I know that we can't all get a white collar job for whatever reason. We can't all work in the office. We need some people to do some manual jobs for us. But it depends on you. If you think you are knowledgeable, you have the skill to get a better job, to better your life, you've got some skills, you've got some ideas up there in which you can use to better the country, to develop the world. So while limiting yourself, you just need to push yourself out. You don't need to believe everything you see or whatever. Oh no, when I first came to this country, someone told me that, oh, as an immigrant, you can't get a good job. You can't work in offices. You can't be this. The highest job you can get as an immigrant is to work as an healthcare assistant. I was like, really? Are you kidding? So that got me like thinking. I said, wow. So with all the education I've acquired, with all my certificates, so are you telling me I'm not going to get a job? So am I going to continue living in this country on that? That is not me. Wow. But as time, and I realized that was because I limited myself. Or those were the set of people I was moving with, or that surrounds me. That was why all that they know. Because later on I realized that they don't even know either that no, you can do better things for yourself, even if you're a migrant or not. And as time goes on, I started seeing some other friends, other immigrants that are now working in the IT sector, working as nurse, working in companies, working as teacher, And I'm like, hello, why did you say this? Then I realized the person did not even know as well. And I'm like, wow. So you need to detach yourself from group of people that are not going to better your life. If you are someone that is so inquisitive and whatever you're getting from other people around you are just negative vibes to kill that spirit, to kill that skill in you, I think you need to move away from them. You don't need to like dissociate yourself from them. You don't need to like unfriend them, but you just have to like be friend with them from a distance, because their existence in your life will not help your career, will not help your life, and you need to like do something about that. Okay, there is an adage that says once bitten, twice shy. I had a terrible experience regarding my status when I first came into this country, and that made me to be like twice shy. And what I mean is that I like to use my voice, my platform, to advise people that want to relocate to any country of the world for greener pastures to think about the route they want to use. Don't just move to any place because somebody is moving, because somebody is leaving, or because you just want to move. Know what you are doing. Know the right route that matches yours. The right route for me might not be the right route for you. We've got our different skills. We've got our different knowledge, certification, qualification, you know, so you don't need to follow the crowd. Make sure when you want to relocate, make sure you get a visa that is suitable, that's going to help your life in the long run. Don't just relocate because people are relocating now, because you're going to be depressed, to be honest. If you come and you could say that you're not functioning the way you should function, or where you are better, where you are coming from is even better off in terms of achievement, in terms of status. That is why you have to like make your research. Whenever they say, oh, this route is on ground, oh, this opportunity is on ground, just look at it critically and know, is this route for you? Is it going to progress your life? Or after, if it's going to be like for a limited time, is that going to be the end? Are you going to be stuck? You know, so you need to look at it critically, ask lawyers, make investigation, ask people around, make research, surf internet to know what that route entails and what you're going to use to achieve at the end of the day. And also have plan B. I've only talked about this plan B. In case this route is not going to work at the end of the day, what other route can I switch into, and like that. So you need to think very well before you leap. Okay, so you won't fall foul. So that will be all for now. I think I've been able to like shed light on some points, on some hints, on some facts that you need to know if you are in the UK, or if you need to relocate, or you're planning to relocate to the UK, to the US, to Canada, to any country of the world for greener pasture. You just need to like study, make your research, be sure of what you want to do, have your plan B, just map out plans. I know that at times one plan might fail. That's why you have to have like 2, 3, and be ready to like speak out. Just speak out. You need to speak out. Okay, you never can tell if the person you are telling to, maybe whoever you're telling to, or whoever is beside you, your neighbor, that colleague, that church friend, that street friend, that person beside in the bus is going to be your savior to get to your next level. So you just need to speak out. I'm not saying you should start saying everything that you need to say, but you know, if you are with someone or if you are somewhere, you should be able, your instinct is going to tell you if you need to speak about this issue to this person, or if this person is going to help you, and that you never can tell, and that might be your opportunity to break even. Okay, and that will be all for now. I remain to be about what we're saying. Like and share my page. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on all my social media handles. Comment in the comment section, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers and bye.